Big Little Lies. Dave, question for you. Why are the most beautiful things also the most dangerous?
Mm. Who are you
Thoughts
trying to
from
kill?
thoughts from a 12-year-old on Big Little Lies. Uh, pretty heady stuff there. So the return of one of the biggest hits of 2017.
Yeah.
Um, 2 years later, we got Celeste and I'm gonna forget all their names now.
Renata.
Celeste, Renata. Yeah, Renata is probably my favorite
Um,
one. Abigail.
Bonnie.
Yeah,
I forget the names too. I know the
I forget
actors.
the names. Yeah, exactly. We got Reese, Zoe Kravitz, Laura Dern, Nicole Kidman, Shailene
Shade.
Woodley. Just an
Now
all
Meryl
star.
Streep.
Yeah, Meryl Streep added to this cast. What were your general thoughts of Big Little Lies season one?
Yeah, I think I liked it more than you. I had it in my top 10 of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, the show was billed as a limited series because it was based off the Leanne Moriarty book and just kind of followed that very, very closely and followed the length of the books. It's like there's no book left. This is it. And, it swept, I think, 8 Emmys, the huge Emmy hit for HBO, huge ratings hit for HBO. Um, I think it occupied like that True Detective time we had this year, that early year, really the first buzzy show. It's a good window if you have good material, and it definitely had a cinematic feel to it. Given that it's as the peak TV ways go, you just have a bunch of movie stars in this show playing off each other, chewing scenery. It's just a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and that's why I really liked it. I hadn't read the book and really know what was going on, but I thought most of the characters were given a lot to do, with the exception of Bonnie, and it does seem like they're making a concerted effort to give Zoe Kravitz more to work with in season 2, which is great. But yeah, I like season 1 a lot, and I was not against season 2 happening. We've been talking about this a lot with shows like Barry and Killing Eve. Like, does a second season need to exist when the first one was so high? And I feel like it's almost more egregious now because it was literally billed as limited series and took
Mm-hmm.
advantage of that in the awards run. Like, if this went up in a drama, would it have got Emmys over Handmaid's Tale? That was Handmaid's Tale season 1. Who's to say? But yeah, I'm happy it's back just because I like watching all these stars play off each other. Now we have Meryl Streep in the mix. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Season one for me, I think it was kind of like learning to like vegetables in a sense, and that's not maybe the best comparison, but I'll pull it back. I swear. So when you're a kid, at least most kids usually don't like certain types of vegetables, but as over time, like you're kind of forced to eat them, so you really learn to love them. I think for me, it was like we were spending time with these ultra rich, super douchey, just like horrible people, and I was
Yep.
like, man, I can't really get behind this. And then
Yeah.
just the more and more I like accepted the campiness and like how awful these people were just to each other and what they were doing, and like found the humor in it. I think that's when I really started to enjoy season one, and that's why I was actually excited for the show to come back. Like you, I didn't really have an issue with them having a second season. I think if we just get to see Reese Witherspoon and Laura Dern just like be super ridiculous and outlandish in terms of their behavior and these amazing ultra rich settings, just doing the most catty stuff possible. I think that's enjoyable. And then you add Meryl Streep into it, who we'll talk about a little bit more in a second, but she seems like she's really bringing a different element into the show. It's going to drive the plot a lot and give her a lot of moments to just be ultra ridiculous. We already had one of those moments in the first episode. I think it's just there's a lot of fun stuff there to enjoy from scene to scene. So, yeah, why don't we talk about the premiere? What stood out to you? What were the maybe the new things for this season that you're looking forward to?
Right. Yeah. It's, in a sense, the season 2 premiere is a lot like the beginning of season 1, and
Mm-hmm.
Reese literally says that. It's like, we get to go get our mom points and cards again or whatever, right? Reestablish
Yeah.
themselves. And God, as you were saying, like, I think the show could put off people just because you're talking about super, super wealthy, waspy people
Yeah.
who have all these social issues, yet they still live on the fucking Pacific Coast Highway, right? Like, they
Mm-hmm.
literally drive across the Bigsby Bridge. like
Yep.
during the normal days. Like it's tough to feel bad for people like that, right?
Yeah.
But as you said, just lean into it and you have a good time. And I think this premiere does a lot of this does a lot to reestablish what we liked about season one, while also I think pretty tactfully setting up what's to come. Like
Hmm.
Meryl Streep doesn't come out guns ablazes in the obvious sense in terms of just pointing fingers and accusing people or really doing anything like that, right? It's very slow played, very meticulous, and she still has standout moments, of course, when she totally dresses down Reese, and of course
Yeah.
when she has
For being
the
short.
right, and thus being untrustworthy, like
Yeah.
wild stereotype. But of course, the scream moment, which is becoming a meme, and season one was a
Yep.
meme factory in its own right, right? But I really like how they're playing that because we once you knew that she was playing Skarsgård's mom, obviously she's an antagonist, we know that, but I like
Hmm.
how they're going with that, and also again setting up Bonnie as the one who's is the only one apparently feeling any grief or remorse, considering she was the one who actually did the deed and killed Skarsgård, pushing him down the stairs. Uh,
Hmm.
and given the concerns that even Zoe had mentioned in a certain sense that she was given less to do and kind of felt like the fifth wheel in a certain sense, truly bringing her in, I think, is smart. And
Hmm.
Renata, Laura Dern, is just kind of part of the crew, at least for now, where she was almost like a tertiary antagonist for parts of season one. So
Right.
I like where it is from a plot perspective. And of course, I already like all these performers. So yeah, I'm just very excited to see what happens.
Yeah. I think the plot is set up to be even more fun than the first season. I do think eventually it's going to become Renata versus Madeline again. You know, Laura Dern versus Reese, which I'm
Right.
totally fine with. I mean, just in this one episode, Madeline was fighting with Mary Louise, the principal of the school, with Abigail, with her ex husband. Like,
Yep.
she was just like she was out for war, out for blood with pretty much everybody. Um, I think it's going to be a really interesting season. See how they juggle all these the time that everybody gets in a sense. Because if you think about it, like you mentioned, Zoe Kravitz kind of being that fifth or sixth wheel in a sense, but the show kind of needed that because of how much they were trying to explain about all these different characters and how to pull it together at the end. Now, if you're going to pull her more into the mix and give her more time, plus Meryl Streep, that's seven people that seven different characters trying to give a decent amount of time to. And it also seems like they're trying to give James Tupper a little bit more time, trying to like figure out how to support Bonnie as, you know, Nate,
Right.
Madeline's husband, who had an incredibly strange interaction with Adam Scott's
You
Ed.
snide fuck.
Yeah, but like also just like what a bizarre request. Like,
Yeah, very
hey,
weird.
I can't emotionally support my wife, so can you, the husband of my ex-wife, support my current wife for me? That's such a bizarre, uh, bizarre request. Um,
It
yeah,
also looks like they're setting up Renata's husband to be more involved, and even if that's a plot line that ultimately gets completed, it's still just adding the layers. I think is just fun, and
mhm,
Skarsgård, from what we know, is a series regular for this season, so feels like his presence in the flashbacks and nightmares that
mhm,
Kidman is having seems like that's going to continue, and it's not just going to be glossed over. It's not just straight up replaced by his mom. He's still definitely a presence on the show, which is definitely interesting. We'll see how that translates. Um,
mhm,
it's also interesting, at least for me, like Catherine Newton, who plays Reese's daughter. Her star has risen a lot, so it's kind of cool just seeing her just come off the bench once in a while because she's also quite talented. And also, Charlene's kid, who I don't think we even saw in the premiere, Ziggy, is played by Ian Armitage, who became an
yeah,
overnight star because he's fucking young Sheldon. Like he just plays Charlene's kid in this show. You
yeah.
know, like
I think
it's
we
kind of
only
wild how
see
much
him.
talent there is.
Yeah, I think we only see him for like 1 second when he's like dancing to a song, which I can't remember which song it is, but um, yeah, I think overall the Big Little Lies, especially with coming back after 2 years, is set up to be probably one of the most fun shows of the summer. And if you have the time and for some reason you're behind on it, you didn't watch it over the last 2 years. I would say catch up just so you can follow along, because there's going to be so many memes and gifs and just things on the internet
Yep.
about this. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
worth it just for that, because the conversation with this show doesn't just stop after it airs, which is, I think, one of the amazing parts about a show in the current monoculture, or lack of
Yeah,
monoculture.
for sure. Also, I got to shout out that quick montage of sorts of Charlene dancing on the beach to the
Yeah,
Sufjan Stevens song "Mystery of Love" from "Call Me by Your Name." I was like,
yeah,
way to bring this song back in my life. Hell yeah, loved it.
great song. Also, we love that movie. Go check out that review.